Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to CBM Calling on a sunny Friday afternoon. Thanks for joining us and spending a few minutes with us as we connect with our church partners around the world. One of the things that I've loved about CBM Calling, in fact, my favorite part of CBM Calling, has been being able to get firsthand information and connection with people in the countries where we partner. So we've had a pastor on from Cuba, from the Dominican Republic, and thrilled today to be able to connect you with Job and Phoebe Santiago from the Philippines. Job and Phoebe give leadership to KPM, our partner in Capiz province. Because of the time change, we recorded the conversation, so we'll play that in just a minute, and you'll get to hear all kinds of updates on what the situation is there now, with both the regular programming that we're doing and how we've also responded with KPM to the needs caused by COVID-19. So feel free to still interact in the Facebook Live. We'll come back live afterwards and try to answer some questions and do some shout outs. But for now, enjoy. I hope you're somewhere with your feet up in the sun, at least here in the eastern part of the country. Enjoy this conversation with Job and Phoebe in the Philippines, and we'll talk soon. Well, good afternoon and welcome to CBM Calling on June 19th. Really pleased today to welcome Job and Phoebe Santiago, who are the leaders of our partner in the Philippines, KPM. Welcome, Job and Phoebe.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us. A lot of our churches partner with you in the Philippines and are interested in what's going on. I wonder if we could start today just by you giving us a bit of the context. So where are you in the Philippines? What's the situation? How has COVID affected things? What's the situation there?
Hello, good afternoon to everyone listening to this CBM Calling. We are now at the middle of the Philippines. We are at the central of the Philippines. That's Visayas. And we are in Panay Island. Panay, which is composed of 4 provinces. Our province is Capiz province. And in Capiz province, we are now located in Rojas City. That's the capital city of the province.
Yeah, just like other places all over the world. So we are also affected very much by this COVID pandemic. And right now, so our province and our region is placed under modified general community quarantine.
That means that movement is being restricted, especially for the young people aging 20 and below, as well as the elders aging 60 and above. So they are not allowed to go out from their houses, except if they get the quarantine pass from the government. So that's the situation right now. The school is partly opening, and other commercial buildings are also opening, but it's not total. It's still restricted. The situation is not yet normal because many citizens, especially the families of the overseas Filipino workers, who have gone home and they lost their jobs, as well as people also in the communities. Many also have lost their jobs because the establishments cannot afford to pay their employees anymore. So a lot of retrenchments, and people really are affected with this pandemic.
Yeah, how is the church?
Yes, we are both senior citizens and we are being restricted. Our movements are limited, but we have to secure special quarantine passes so that at least we can be allowed even in the malls and in other government offices. As far as the churches are concerned, so just the other Sunday, we were now allowed to have the worship services, but with very limited, 50% of the regular worshippers are only allowed. And worshippers are required to, observe protocols with washing of hands and wearing of face masks and social distancing and all those.
Yeah, it's very similar to what's going on here in Canada, actually, as you describe it. One of the things that I guess I'd highlight as being very different is in the Philippines, I've heard, and you can tell me if I'm correct or wrong, that a lot of people in the places where you work and serve, if they lose their job, they don't have access to food.
Yes.
Is hunger a real issue in some of the communities that you're working?
Yeah, that's true. That's why part of our work is still to go to our communities and find their situations. In fact, just last week, we were able to distribute again clean rice for at least 38 families in Libas.
Okay.
So that at least the families will be given assistance.
Right. Now, Libas is a fishing village, right?
Yeah, fishing village. It's an urban poor, urban poor community, and many families are really struggling very hard to survive.
Right. So they're not able to fish right now?
Some of them are able, but very limited. And their movements in the community is also very limited because the adjacent community, there was COVID positive, and that added to the restrictions of those that are staying in Libas.
Okay, no, thank you. I want to, in a minute, maybe talk about some of the ministry that you do with KPM and get some updates on different communities and projects. But one of the things that we've done is through the hospital, I believe, we've been able to help with relief for frontline workers. Could you tell us a little bit more about what that's looked like?
Yes, Adrian. I am directly involved with Capiz Immanuel Hospital. Since January, we don't have hospital administrator. His term has ended, and we were not able to designate the new hospital administrator. So the board has created the management committee, and I chair that management committee. So it's really COVID time, and we have lots of challenges met, and we are so grateful that CBM has extended financial assistance. Aside from financial assistance, Michael has facilitated some PPEs, protective, the face mask that CBM has facilitated from Hong Kong. It arrived during the time where we really lack supplies, and because of the supply and demand thing, so it's really very, very the prices really so high. Right now, we are still recovering because for the past months, our census in the hospital dropped to 30%. 30%. It's good that we were able to manage those PUIs and the PUM, and by God's grace, so we're not able to have a COVID positive in the hospital.
Okay.
I
That's
think
great.
the project has helped the frontline workers to their food as well as their accommodation because of the lockdown, and they cannot go home. And we are thankful that in partnership with Philamar Christian University, if you could remember, Adrian,
Mhm.
they also extended the space where you were, no, in the guest house,
Okay.
where yeah, the nurses, they house the nurses there after their duty hours. So that's also a great help for the frontline workers.
Okay. Now it's great to hear how, through the hospital, through the school, through the church, you're responding um, to help in this really difficult season.
Yeah.
I want to shift the conversation a bit, if we can, and just talk about some of um, the ministry that we do on an ongoing basis with KPM, and that
Mm.
how you're at work. One of the things that teams who have visited you, I know I was certainly impressed with when I visited a few years ago, were the childcare centers. Um, and I visited four: Libas, Hopeville, Lucero, and Aglingdon. Those are, sorry, I didn't visit all four. Those are the four I know of. But Michael, I believe, has told me that there's some other areas that you're working with kids too, really caring for vulnerable children and helping with education. How has that been affected, and how are you still serving those kids?
Yeah, it really affected the service because it was really very abrupt in March. The sessions has not been ended, the school year has not been ended, but the municipal mayor of the city really declared that children should not be allowed to go out from their houses.
Mhm.
And so, in fact, we have not conducted our closing ceremony for the school year because of that. And so, what we are doing is the child care center teachers, missionary teachers, are visiting the children in their houses and giving them their certificates. It really affected the program because the children could not gather in the child care
Mhm.
center anymore. So by this time, what we are doing is still enlist the children,
Enroll.
enlist or enroll the children, the 3 to 4 years old, the potential children that we could serve this school year, looking forward to design a kind of experience where instead of children going to the child care center, the child care center teachers would visit their houses,
Mm.
provide the lessons, the learning competencies that they should learn for the period, the things that you should develop in their personal and social relationships, and personal hygiene, and self-care. And we are still conceptualizing how we could do that. But like other schools, I think we could also facilitate in that way. So since it is enrollment time, enlisting time, so we are also beginning to list the pupils or the children who could be part of this program.
Well, I'm
In
glad.
addition to that, Adrian, we keep in touch with the government agency that regulates the preschool program. And we have learned that as far as the government is concerned, so preschools and public schools will open on September. But we make use of the time to still follow up the parents. In fact, the parents of children, the preschool children, have also received assistance from the program. to name rice assistance. We have given them during this previous months. Yeah, so we keep on monitoring the area still, although we cannot physically visit them, but we keep monitoring the teachers and give some instructions on what to do.
It's wonderful. Really, it's great to hear how even when the kids can't come to the school, the teachers, those missionary teachers are still caring for the kids, meeting them at their homes, and KPM helping support those families in this difficult time. Great.
Yeah.
Another ministry that people in Canada have probably heard about, some of them, is the Food for Life Cooperative. And I know just the end of last year, that was hit hard with a typhoon that went through.
Yeah.
But what's the status on the Marketplace Ministry Initiative, the Food for Life?
Yeah. So before the lockdown, we were able to construct we call it laboratory, so that we can produce organic fertilizers and organic farm inputs. We have already the building, but we are not able, to proceed to make some compost, organic fertilizers, and other farm inputs because of this COVID thing. So that again is a big problem. So we are now to begin the cropping, and we don't have those inputs which we need. One good thing is we can still access with our local partner, in terms of this farm input. So the SRI will still proceed somehow, although we cannot really make it because we don't have workers anymore, because everyone is locked down in their houses and in their communities, and farmers are very much affected. We were able to utilize rice, which we have purchased part of the Food for Life project in our distribution to communities in the bus. Yes, so at least by now all the stocks are gone.
Yeah,
we were able to use it.
Okay.
Yeah, for our urban poor communities in the city.
Okay, so the rice that you were distributing to those families in need in Libas actually came from the Food for Life.
Yes, Food for Life.
Oh,
that's right.
Yeah, it came from the Food for Life project.
So the fund for that is being used to buy the rice from for the Food for Life.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Project of KPM.
The project of KPM.
Oh, that's amazing. Thanks so much, Hope and Phoebe, for your ministry, your service, and for taking some time to share with the Church in Canada today. One of my favorite questions, it's a question I ask everyone when I'm talking to the field. How can we pray for you? We certainly would ask you in the Philippines to be praying for us in Canada, but also how can the Church in Canada continue to pray for the church in Capiz?
We would like to request prayer for our pastors who are continually working in different churches in the province, especially in this difficult time. Our pastors are continually working, serving our people, conducting worship services and prayer meetings. So we ask for prayers to our pastors. Pastors in Capiz, they are between 60 to 70 pastors working in the Capiz province. So we ask for prayers for that. And also we ask prayer for our childcare centers, that we can still serve the children as well as their families in this trying time. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Please include in your prayers also, Adrian and the churches there in Canada, the Food for Life project, uh, so that we can still pursue and produce and have production for this cropping season. And also the Bugana project. This has been really
Oh,
affected.
right.
We were supposed to open it, no, to launch the opening, the soft opening of the project, but with this pandemic, so that was really cancelled. We'll have meeting on Monday. Tomorrow we'll have a local meeting here and present that to Michael on Monday, with Michael joining us in our meeting. Hopefully we can come up with more plans in that.
Okay.
Please also include our health. We we are both senior citizens, and we just cannot sit down at home, but we have to get involved. Phoebe is regularly reporting in school, and I cannot also avoid to report uh, on my duty at the Capiz Immanuel Hospital, especially in times like this.
Mhm.
And also, Adrian, we would like to ask prayer to the continuing education for pastors this coming July.
Yes.
That will be conducted with Dr. Emo Yango and Michael Waddell. And we will do that virtual or Zoom as the platform of the training as well. So we just pray that all pastors will be able to come and
Mhm.
not to come to Philomer. Philomer is our venue, so that we could have this seminar for our pastors, continuing education for pastors.
Okay, well, be assured of our prayers. Thanks so much for sharing and for your ministry. Look forward to talking to you again soon when maybe COVID is a bit of a memory. But in the meantime, blessings on your ministry as you serve. And we're back live. I hope you enjoyed listening into the conversation that I had this morning with the Santiagos, and I hope you're encouraged by the reality that the church continues to serve and minister in these challenging times, continuing to serve vulnerable people in the communities where the childcare centers operate, continuing to work with rice farmers. And I don't know about you, but I found it so incredible that the harvest from the Food for Life Cooperative, which is a marketplace ministry initiative that our staff and our partner have been working with, the harvest from the Food for Life Cooperative was used to give food aid to needy families in Libas, the urban poor fishing village. Just an incredible example of how the Marketplace Ministry Initiative is serving the needs of these poor people living in Libas. So thank you for your participation. Thank you for your support and your prayer. If you want to know more about the work in the Philippines, I would encourage you on our website to check out Michael and Melanie Waddell's staff page. They're our field staff based in Rojas City. And you'll also see a link to their blog there, and there's all kinds of great information. Want to acknowledge some people who have been journeying with us this afternoon. So Estella Ng is here. Estella, good to see you. And also Desiree from Mississauga City. Mississauga City's step church with the Philippines. Thank you for your partnership and your support. Natasha Davidson from New Glasgow, good to see you. And Marilyn and Ron Phillips from First Baptist Regina. Oh, and great to have one of our current field staff, Michael Waddell, is commenting, and an alumni, Carl Jansen, who served with CBM in Brazil and Angola from 1977 to 2003. Thanks for being with us. So again, happy Friday. I hope this has been an encouragement to you in just how God is at work through his church. and that even in the midst of a global pandemic, in fact, probably even more so in the midst of a global pandemic, God is at work through his church, caring for the needs of people as the church responds with the compassionate hands and feet of Jesus. So thanks for your prayers, your support. I know Hope and Phoebe are grateful for them, and we certainly are grateful for your support of all the work that we do together with local churches around the world. Just before I sign off, want to remind you that we're back on Monday at 2:30 Eastern, and we're joined with back to our marketplace ministry discussion. Jennifer Lau will be joined by Ruth Mullen from Faith Tech, and she was one of the speakers at our Good Work Conference last year. So hope that you have a good weekend and hope to see you again Monday afternoon. Blessings as we go.